to Rockin' Kentucky Blue, the podcast where we are serious about our Cats. Join two card-carrying Blue Rockin' members of the Big Blue Nation as they keep you up to date on the latest happenings of the University of Kentucky Wildcats. Here are your hosts, one calm member of the sports media, Michelle Mamba Brown, and one crazy fan, Jay Hayes.
It's fascinating. I heard none of that.
Wow.
Until Jay Hayes, and like I want to hear that. But
Right.
welcome to Rockin' Kentucky Blue. This would be episode 53. I know my numbers this week, even though I am not well rested.
Yeah. Hope remain.
I don't have much right now, but all I'm hoping for is to get one night of sleep.
Yeah.
Not working.
Yeah. So much more than sports, right?
Oh man. Like, I hope I can figure out why somebody left a snow shovel in front of my apartment door this morning.
I mean,
I'm not shoveling the snow.
hint.
Well, I'm almost 60 years old. The other three tenants in the building are early 20s, early 30s, and late 30s. I ain't shoveling their snow.
They might know that you're a badass, so there's like, we'll put the.
I picked up. I already know about one of the neighbors, so it was just bizarre. Like, I bought the salt for the deck, and so when it snowed,
There you go. Yeah.
I get my little cup of salt. I go out there and I sprinkle the steps and the porch, and I do that. I'm very diligent, and like nobody else has to worry about it. I make sure that's done.
Yeah.
Shoveling. I got a bum knee, I've got arthritis, and I'm a klutz. Don't give me a snow shovel and steps. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like somebody gave me, like somebody like, hey, here's a new snow shovel. No, it came from somebody's basement because there was a spider web and a spider in the handle.
Right. I'm gonna get a flamethrower. Have you seen the people flamethrower on their drive? That's what I'm gonna do. That's my next move.
We got a wooden deck.
I mean, you gotta hold that on there pretty long for that to catch fire.
It's not the catch fire. You're gonna be torching it, and it's gonna get just. And the cars are parked really close to it, so no.
Yeah, no. That might be a bad idea for you. Yeah.
I mean, heck, give me a snow blower. That's fine.
There you go. That works. Yeah.
No,
predictions.
I'm not old and doing that. Not doing that.
Let's go back a couple weeks on predictions, because you never said anything. It's weird when don't
tell me that I have never acknowledged the rare times that you've been correct.
Rarely do you acknowledge.
No, because rarely there's anything to acknowledge.
No, I do not agree with that. But a couple weeks ago,
you're wrong. I
made some predictions, and I threw some crazy bold prediction out there, like 13 blocks in a game.
Didn't happen.
Well, that's by the way, that's one of those grabbers to get people to come in and go, how crazy I am, and you just know. And
your normal conversations,
like everybody,
your normal conversations have brought in enough of the crazy.
I mean, like everybody picking, going, oh, well, we're just not going to win. We're probably going to lose all the games. Like predicting 13 blocks in game is any worse than that. I mean, come on now. At least mine's positive. I mean, but I did predict that we'd win by 13. That happened.
But we didn't.
We did win by 13. That game, LSU game.
Was it exactly 13? I thought that was 15.
It was exactly 13. I counted on my hands and toes. It was 13. And I was one rebound off. I predicted that Brooks would have a double-double.
Okay, now let's talk about that block record.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he needed 12 more So, but like I said, I do those things. That's a
But I'll
grab.
tell you what. Now, if I would have been impressed if you had said Isaiah Jackson is going to play less than 20 minutes and he's going to pull down 15 rebounds.
Now let me tell you, I was going to be sane and predict 15 rebounds for him in that game.
Mm-hmm,
And I was like,
mm-hmm.
no, that's just too easy.
Yeah,
13
right,
bucks.
yeah.
I promise on everything that I love, I was going to. And I was like, that's too easy. 13 blocks. He sets a single game
Okay,
record for
folks,
Kentucky.
remember, he loves being wrong. So,
Hey, I have fun. It's a prediction for one.
no, I'm
and I
saying you
have
love
fun
being
with it.
wrong. So, if you're swearing on everything you love, he loves being wrong.
Oh, well, I did get a message today on Twitter saying, hey, I just got through listening to episode 50. You were wrong. So I was like, on what? Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I was wrong.
Well, just for we won't even make it about basketball. This is just one of my fascinating
Trivia?
Well, this one isn't. This is one of the facts. I will have a trivia question. I've got 2 trivia questions for you tonight. But this fact, I think this because Kentucky baseball, they kind of like dipped down for a couple of years, but they've got a top-notch recruiting class, and it's different than in basketball world.
Yeah.
And the baseball players come in, they have to stay.
Yeah.
For 3 years. They can't do anything. You get there, you're in college 3 years, period.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it's not the best in the country, one of the top recruiting classes in the country this year. And the enthusiasm level is amped back up. Mingione is like we're ready. But here's a fact that probably slips by a lot of the Big Blue Nation because they don't pay attention because they think it doesn't matter. Every sport matters, people.
Facts.
Kentucky had 21. That's a 2 and a 1. 21. Baseball players picked in the Major League Draft from 2017-18. That total was tops in the nation. We're a baseball school. Nobody will even recognize it.
Yeah. Well, when somebody hears this, I guarantee you'll see it on Twitter saying we're a baseball school because that's the new thing. That's what everybody does. We saw Alabama holding up signs going, we're a basketball school, blah, blah, blah. So.
Well, and whoever does that will not give us credit for saying this. Like we're a baseball school. Haven't any of y'all noticed? Blah, blah. I'm not going to say I heard it on Rockin' Kentucky Blue.
Right. We're a baseball school. We're every sports school, really, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and volleyball starts tomorrow for the spring thing. Kentucky was undefeated in the fall portion of their schedule.
Yeah.
Gymnastics won their meet last week. They play. I keep calling plays. It should be play, but they're not really playing.
What are they? What is it called? Perform?
It's a meet, so they're.
So they perform at the meet.
Yeah.
They do Jimmy stuff at the meet.
They compete at the meet.
The competition.
See, look, there's Terry Brown. He knows.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about gymnastics, Terry. So yeah, we do compete.
Yeah.
Playing the match is with Alabama tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen at 5:00, I believe, on ESPN2. This was another match that was supposed to be held, got canceled, so they scooted up the Kentucky-Alabama. I'm pretty sure it's Alabama. Yeah, because it's a rematch, because we already had a match against Alabama before the conference started. So, for some reason, that counted as an out-of-conference match.
Yeah.
And I did not do my diligent research to find out why a conference matchup could count as an out-of-conference matchup. But it would be nice, again, as Terry's pointed out, we've only beat Alabama once, but Alabama, they're a football school. They are a gymnastics school. There's just no doubt about it. But Kentucky's got to – we're not as strong on balance beam this year, and that's been our bread and butter the last couple of seasons. I mean, we have just been rock solid. We got some great new talent in. Balance beam is kind of where they used to make up a lot of scoring. In other places, they might be short, and they've just strode a little bit. If they're down on the beam tomorrow, Alabama better watch out. That's all I got to say. And for your first trivia question, Jay.
Uh-oh. Terry Brown to answer this. I probably will not.
Well, this even happened before me.
Oh, well.
Well, that's a clue.
Well,
If you guess,
if it happened before you, then how would I know?
Do you know when the Great Depression happened, Jay?
Yes.
That was before you were born.
I'm just saying.
There we go. Okay. If you study any kind of UK trivia, when I tell you the answer, you're like, yes, I knew that. Well, maybe not. Maybe
most of the time I do.
Maybe if you had to guess the name, you'd know. Maybe I could do that. I'll try that. I'll switch this around. Instead of asking you to guess the year this happened, I'll get you to guess the guy. In 1956, which UK player became the first men's basketball player to score 50 points in one game?
Has to be Dan Issel. Well, I didn't even hear a year.
1956.
Oh, okay.
No.
1956.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
First name Bob.
Blank.
Bob Barrow.
I was thinking something totally different. So yeah, I didn't know that.
Well.
Yeah, I was thinking a totally different name. I didn't hear a date either when you said that. So
I said 1956.
I didn't hear you. All I heard was 50 points. So.
And we wonder why Jay is wrong so much of the time. You got that man listening thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard 50 points, and that's what I heard.
Well, anyhow, this is all hope gone. You know, after the LSU game the other night, I mean, I think that had to be one of the most complete games we have seen the Cats put together all year.
Yeah.
They scored more than 80 points. That's the first time that's happened since the first game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Terry Brown said we got a great show. Thank you, Terry. Jay's got all the posters. I've got the other. All of my good stuff is back here on the fourth wall. Yeah.
I mean, like I agree totally that this was the most complete game, but we forget, man. Kentucky played Kansas really, really hard and fell apart. I mean, like they played 30 minutes in that game.
But to have a complete game, you got to have 40 minutes.
Right. I mean, did they play 40 minutes against LSU? I mean, there were some breakdowns in that game.
There were some breakdowns, but there was immediate recoveries.
Right.
Kansas, there was the breakdowns, the recovery, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, people. What I'm getting at is people forget we controlled that game against Kansas, 30 minutes of it.
Well, all they're going to remember is that the 10 minutes we didn't.
Lost. Yeah, right. Yeah, LSU. I mean, but we get the W, and people are like, "So, what about the Florida game? That was dominance."
If only we had followed that one up with the consistency thing,
right?
And it's not just consistency from game to game; it's consistency from beginning to end of one game. And yeah, I would agree. Yes, the team is improving. There's a lot of things, but they have got to eliminate that, which is now becoming one of their calling cards, is the long scoring drought in the second half.
Yeah.
That's one thing they have done consistent. You know, I will recognize consistency where it exists.
Right.
And we have consistently had very elongated scoring droughts in the second half of most of the games.
You got to shoot the ball. You got to quit passing shots up.
But here the problem, of course, I hear all these people, well, maybe if Cal wasn't screaming at them to shoot all the time.
Right.
Okay, him screaming shoot makes them not shoot.
Right. It's called coaching. It's called coaching a player up. You know, you heard it before. Coach them up. And I agree totally with Terry Brown. I see improvement every game.
Well, the loss the other night against Alabama, we controlled the game. Alabama didn't look like this world beater that everybody like, oh, Alabama is, you know, they invented sliced bread.
Right.
They invented the knife to slice the bread. They invented bread.
Right.
No.
The game was sloppy. The game was really sloppy. And it was, you know, you heard it, you saw it, you heard the commentating. Oh, well, just bad shooting night for Alabama. How about you give some credit to Kentucky's defense because they were up in faces. They were doing their job. There was some backdoor breakdowns, but for the bigger part, they were playing defense. And I liked it. And Terry said they are elite defense, mediocre offense. And I totally, if we were just average offense, it would be hard to beat.
And I would maintain if we'd had Keon Brooks the entire season, we would probably have at least 3 more wins. Because of some, you know, the early games that we lost, it was in the last minute.
Yeah.
And I think that Keon, and don't apologize for comments, Terry. We welcome all the comments that we can get. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Join in the discussion. That's what we say. Or that's what I think you say on some of the promos.
Yeah. Join the conversation.
There you go. Yeah. Not the discussion. Although they're both the same. But the early games, like I said, we get down there and you get to the end and be like a 2-point loss, a 3-point loss. Keon Brooks would have been exceptionally beneficial in those games. And I think those first couple of games that we lost down in the last minute, had Brooks been there, had Brooks been the difference maker, had we won those, the confidence level of this team.
Yeah.
The confidence level would have been up here.
Right,
and I think that, you know, like I say, you look at, he could have made a difference in 2 or 3 games, but I think what that would have done to the mentality of the team could have been 4 or 5 more, you know, that there's more belief. Yeah, we can win. And Cal said they don't know what to do the last, 5 minutes of a game.
Right.
Or 3 minutes or whatever minutes he said. They think they know, but they don't know. I thought they knew after the Mississippi State game. You go double overtime, buckle down. I'm like, you're listening. You're buying into what Cal says. You understand that what he's telling you to do is how you have success. And they do that. And then they had 3 games in a row that they seem to beat. And then all of a sudden, but I like the way I do it. Kids.
Yeah. And I think Devin Askew is in his head. He is not performing very well.
Well, he's not scoring. Don't say not performing.
Right.
Not scoring.
You're right. And I like that Cal continues to go to him because that's one thing that I do like about Cal. Everybody's like, oh, I'll take him out. I like a coach that's going to push a kid and not give up on a kid and continue to work with him. I love that. Love that about Cal.
He was fighting on defense.
Yeah. Hustling.
He was protecting the ball. 0.
Yeah.
0 turnovers.
Yeah.
4 assists. I think he had 4 rebounds. Everybody take him out. Well, if you go back and you look at the plus minus,
which I hate.
There were players that were worse, but there were players that were worse than Askew in that particular stat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you had gone to the comments at Facebook group.
No.
So Boston misses a shot. Need to get his stinking
Yeah.
blankety blank out of the game. Said bench him. Put Allen in. Well, Allen actually had a way lower plus minus than Boston did.
Which, by the way, if you don't know, I hate that stat. It's a horrible to evaluate a player, for one. It's just horrible stat.
I'm not going to say it's horrible. I don't think it's the number one stat. However, I do think that it is telling quite frequently. You see how you're performing with specific players on the court and not. And, I won't go like somebody, that says, they're -5 and they were in the game for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
If -5 and they were in the game 20 minutes, big difference.
Right.
So I like to compare relative minutes played, positions. Then let me see what the plus minus is, because I think there is some value in that. But anyway, they're going, pull Askew, he needs to be on the bench. Pull Boston, he needs to be on the bench. Then it was, well, they need to get, nobody would say that Allen needed to be set down, even though he was going.
I can't believe that. Right. I can't even believe someone said that.
Well, no, they didn't. That's what I'm saying. He was missing shots. He had turnovers.
Yeah.
And nobody says, set him down. Let's sit down the guy that's not making any turnovers. Let's sit down the guy who had what looked like a nasty, nasty ankle roll and yet bounced back.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just one play. But anyhow, this one Facebook group, this one guy, need to sit him down. Well, before I went back later in the game.
Right.
Find the same three. He'd had him set down 7 players, and I'm thinking, you realize 5 have to be on the court. Just everybody that missed a shot. Then I was going to wait on this till we talked about Super Bowl, but I'm not going to. And I'll bring that in. There was this one woman who was insisting that the reason the Cats can't win was, what's their problem anyway? They don't even wear shoes that match. They don't wear shoes that match. Now, they were wearing specific shoes the other night for a specific reason. Not having matching shoes has not been a new thing. I really did not like Julius Randle's green shoes. I didn't like them. He liked them. He played well in them. Briscoe, he had different shoes all the time. Maybe 2 pairs I liked. They're not on my feet. I don't care.
Right.
So anyhow, a lot of people, told them why they were wearing the specific shoes that they were wearing. Weren't they the Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing the Kobe Bryant thing. Well, no. Well, I don't care. University of Kentucky isn't supposed to honor Kobe Bryant. They're supposed to honor. They represent me. And I'm thinking, well, of course, I saw her spelling, her punctuation, and her grammar. So I'm pretty sure she's not an alum. Okay. Maybe made it out of high school, maybe not. I don't want to judge that, but she did not. She wasn't an English major. I am 100% confident, not an English major. So a lot of people trying to talk about the shoes and get her off that ledge. And I think somebody actually put her very well in her place about the shoes when they were comparing records of teams that wore matching shoes and how many national championships they had versus teams who did not.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody went all out on that. But she followed it up, and this is when we knew. This is when I knew for sure. It wasn't about the shoes, because she said, well, they spend too damn much time worried about all those stupid hairstyles. They need to get them cut and wear Kentucky hairstyles.
Yeah, this is another fan that I hope quits watching. Just quit watching, Please.
So,
Do us a favor.
and like I said, I didn't want to read the comments. Didn't want to, because when I read the comments, I want to suddenly get really petty, and I want to go and Google an image with a really tacky, well, good grief, mullet haircut. That's Kentucky haircut, babe. We want to get real.
Wow. So yeah, we go to Bama. Man, I thought we had this game. I was like, this is the game. My
I
prediction
haven't
was
finished
7.
my point. I'm getting ready to get. You want all the smoke, Jay Hayes?
I mean, yeah.
Do you?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, our theme is don't
Do you want the smoke or not?
bring the smoke.
Are we going to be honest about what's wrong with the fans or not?
Let's be honest.
If we were simply struggling and losing, we'd have about this much of the fan base that would be grumbly.
Right.
Everybody else would be like, get behind them, get behind them. If it wasn't the era of one and dones and struggling, we would have a little bit bigger bunch of people get behind them. So those two little things. But their hairstyles, they've got those nasty hairstyles. Well, who has the nasty hairstyles? Or what this woman perceives as nasty hairstyles.
Right.
That happens to belong to all the African American players.
Right.
Who had the audacity
Right.
to make a video about Black Lives Matter. Who had the audacity to kneel during the national anthem. Let's get real. The people hate the team, not because of their performance, not because of anything to do with the University of Kentucky. It's because we got a bunch of racist fans out there. They don't want to admit it, but they show it and prove it by every one of the words they post. And they'd like to try to disguise it behind hairstyles aren't traditional.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the smoke. That's what it is.
Yeah. Like I said, other fans that I hope leave. I mean, been saying that. We've been calling them out. Like, and I'll add again, don't read the comments because I mean it's gonna make you angry for one, and it's just really low life people talking bad about the kids that shouldn't be part of what we think is a great fan base. They should not be allowed to be a part of Kentucky's any sport. So, that's how I see it. And
these players, they're fine.
Right.
These black players, they're fine as long as they win the games. But if they're not going to win every game, by gosh, get back in your place, get in your seat, comb your hair, try to look like a white boy if you can.
Right.
We'll tolerate you being black as long as you win.
Right.
And that's what's coming out. That's what makes me sick. And that's what needs to be. It needs to be confronted head on. For anybody that says we don't have racist fans, wake up and smell the big blue bourbon barrel. Okay.
Right. And I think everyone knows,
Yeah, but
I mean, there was
tiptoes around it. Everybody tiptoes around it.
I mean, there was a point when I thought it was just a small percent. I was like, nah, it's just a small percent. This year has shown me it is a very large percent of our fan base that are racist and that are just way out. And the people complaining, I'm not watching no more. I hope and I pray that they are done.
Take screenshots of the name. I did that. Told you about that. Did that a couple of years ago with football. Yeah. When they were getting all ticked off. I started taking screenshots. I'm done. I'm done. Okay. 3 weeks later, they're sitting there and complaining. I pop up a screenshot. What you doing here? You were done, remember?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's how come I had to stop reading comments.
And I'll be honest, this is something that I said years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because I always wondered, I mean, and not to take away from talent, because he was talented, but everyone loved him so much. Rex Chapman. Loved him. You really think that they loved him because he was that good? Or was it because he was white? Now you know our fan base. You know, same thing with Tyler Hero. Think about those things. And that's not taken away from their talent.
No.
We're talking about our fan base here.
But see, now, all those that where Rex was so beloved, and you know that.
Right.
Rex speaks out in support of Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Rex spoke out in support of kneeling for the national anthem. People that King Rex, now they hate him.
Right. Well, I mean, I still see a lot of people saying King Rex, but I don't think they follow him.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know.
But but I have seen, you know, like now, the one time that I really got ticked off at Rex, and I didn't realize at the time he was drugged up, but on the night of the national championship game, Cal to the Lakers, done deal.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, there's
a lot. Yeah. There's a lot that I don't agree with Rex on. And the fact that he's so political, I don't like, but that's him. I mean, I'm not.
He's not playing. See, you're trying to say that nobody.
Constant.
Because if people aren't going to do that, Jay, we can't change things.
That's not my thing.
It can be not your thing, but why do you dislike him for it being his thing?
I'm all about changing things that need to be changed, but when you just every minute talk about one person just constantly, that's psycho.
He's not talking about one person.
Did you see Rex Chapman's Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump that?
That's because Trump put himself in the news, especially in the last year.
When somebody talks about someone like that, it's sickening. It's a problem.
When somebody like that is lying every day to the American people.
It is.
And he needed to be called out on his lies.
Every minute of the day.
Well, he was lying every minute of the day, and people were dying because of the lies every minute of the day.
Do you think that has something to do with him not working with Kentucky no more?
I can't speak to that.
I'm saying because he was so constant every second, one-sided.
As is his right.
Exactly. And it's my right not, I disagree with making that move.
As is your right, but he was not doing anything outside of the bounds of free speech. He was not harming anyone.
Right. I'm just telling you what my issue.
But for fans to get upset because he supported Black Lives Matter,
right?
That says a whole lot about you, not you.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. But yeah, you're right. And like I said, most people that don't follow him, they still say King. But if they knew, because that is our fan base, and
it wasn't every minute of every day, because he continued to post blocker charge and kitties and puppies and little kids doing funny things. So he did put a lot of positive stuff out there too, if people paid attention. But people decide they get honed in. He does that all the time, and they throw everything else out the window.
Right.
That's what they do. That's what our fan base is. It's all or nothing. You either do everything the way I want you, get rid of the checkerboards, and I want 3-year players, and I want them to do this, and they need to sit like that, and their hair needs to be comb parted on the side, no facial hair, because that's how Joe B would have had it.
Yeah. And we're sitting here saying our fan base. It is a big percent of our fan base, but we do have a lot of great people in our fan base. So let's not forget those people, and just saying our fan base is just crap. A big
We're
percent.
just banging the drum for the good fans here.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with them. It's sad. It really is. And struggling this year in a pandemic year, and these kids standing up for their right, and it's brought out the ugly side of the big percent of the fan base, and it's sad.
Yeah. See, Mutt and Jeff got their platform, and people applaud that.
Yeah.
There's nothing different in what Mutt and Jeff did and what that team did.
Yeah.
Nothing. First Amendment rights, understand what they are. First Amendment rights also means you can say what you want, but it doesn't mean freedom from consequences.
Right.
If that's what Rex got was consequences, Rex walked into that knowing it could be a consequence.
Yeah.
He made his choice. His choice was it's more important to get this word out.
Yeah.
Or maybe, just maybe, he didn't have his job at UK because he was trying to give Johnny Juzang shooting lessons last year and it kind of jacked his shot up.
Right. Yeah. I remember that. That was great. That was great.
I was there when it was happening.
Yeah.
I watched it firsthand from 5 feet away. No,
Yeah.
get your elbow here. No, get your foot there. I'm thinking, I bet the coaches have been working with him.
Yeah.
And if you're changing something that the coaches have done,
can't do that.
Andy would say that you can't be doing that.
Right. So
we should have had Alabama. Should have had it, but should have had it.
Should have, would have, could have. There's a lot. I would say, 8 of these games.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not, and we didn't. Well, I did, but
I mean, there's, like TB said several comments ago, we've seen improvement. And a lot of people won't tell you that. Oh, no, they're still the same. Because of the score of the final score, we lost. There's improvement.
We've done some, like I said, the last 2 or 3 minutes, we've got a mental block there.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, and Cal said he's got to teach them a different way. Teach them a different way, Cal. Please hurry quick.
Is it too late?
I think we're at the point now we have to win the SEC tournament.
And like I asked when our last 2 guests were on.
Yes, but then, each time there's been 2 more games since then. So we have a smaller body of work right now.
No, I'm saying about the SEC tournament. We might not get an SEC tournament. Then what?
Then we're screwed.
Right. So
I think Calipari, who has been perennially against a conference tournament, facetious or not,
yeah,
self-serving or not, if he were to get behind a conference tournament and use some of his vast resources to help make that happen, I mean, you get all the SEC teams in Georgia. That's kind of a central place.
Yeah.
Could do kind of what they're doing in Indianapolis. You have you get a couple of hotels blocked off. We only need 1 hotel probably. Have limits to how many. Have you seen the NCAA tournament restrictions?
No, I haven't yet.
They have seating charts for how when they have to arrive in Indiana.
Right now, I've heard people talk a little bit on it, but I haven't seen any of the
okay. Well, I mean, even if they come, if they are within, it might be within 600 miles, they have to ride a bus.
Right.
Other ones come in, they have to have chartered jets. They have seating charts for how the players can sit on jets and the buses. There's a limit to the number of personnel that can travel with the team. Then when they get whatever hotel they're in, nobody comes to that hotel, each player in an individual room. They have like the practice. I mean, it was like 2 or 3 pages of things that you would not. I mean, here's the thing: coaches cannot scout the other teams by watching their games. The only way they can scout the other teams is by video that the NCAA will provide to them.
Wow. Let me ask you this: have since they announced wearing those little devices in their shorts, I believe it was in their shorts or the shirt. I think it might have been their shirt to track. Has any data for that come out, or how's that going? I haven't heard anything else about that from the beginning.
The only thing that I have heard, and this was early on, was detecting if they had been near somebody.
Yeah.
And I think that when you other schools once the season, I'm sorry, I told you, my brain is like a little bit cobwebby. That's what happens when you get up at 2:30 in the morning and you went to bed at 1. So, yeah. I think once the season started, a lot of the schools that were taking things casual in the preseason buckled down and took precautions very, very seriously and followed the protocols they were supposed to follow. Because and some of the teams that you wouldn't have expected to do it, they did because, oh my goodness, we won our first 3 games. We don't want to mess this up.
Right.
Other teams are going, Kentucky's struggling. This happens once every 100 years. Let's keep ourselves in the game.
Yeah.
We want to point out that Duke and North Carolina and Indiana and Louisville are also all struggling, and Kansas is not exactly a great ball of fire.
Right.
I would like to see Texas struggle this week.
Shaka Smart going to be in the building.
I hope it's Shaka Dumb. Okay, not a great joke, but, best I can do.
Yeah, that's definitely getting a soundbite. But, I can't remember if they said he was COVID sick or
it could be COVID protocol.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was COVID protocol, but I was reading several things from different sources about different teams all together, so I kind of got jumbled where one team had some players out for COVID protocols that are back in, but then I saw others that were COVID. It's a mess. Keep wearing your mask, people. I'm telling you, just because there's a vaccine out there, that doesn't mean don't wear your mask. As a matter of fact, it's more important than ever to wear your mask because there's the new strains, although the vaccines, at least the Moderna vaccine, is thought to be highly effective against the new strains that have popped up. So, but even then, you got to wait and get your second dose of the vaccine, which is another 3 weeks. And I think then it still takes you another month before you're really immune, if you will. So wear your stinking mask. Wash your stinking hands.
Right.
Stay 6 stinking feet away from people you don't live with.
Right.
We've been telling you this. If you want a baseball season, if you want a football season, if you do these things, did you have the basketball season that you wanted? See, I think people not washing their hands, not wearing their mask last spring, that's why we didn't get our preseason game. So it's on you. And you're probably the same people that don't like hairstyles. Just saying.
Something else. Yeah, something else. So we got a shot this weekend.
Oscar's not on campus yet either.
Okay.
Take anything from that?
No.
Yeah, but he transferred like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, but it was, I think they said like a month that he would be on campus within a month and be in practice.
Well, all I'm saying, he's just not here yet.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what is here yet. Kind of exciting. Well, I'm sorry. I do have to. Breaking news. I got to get
Uh-oh.
Well, don't get that excited. Well, get excited, but it's why didn't it update? It was supposed to update for me. There we go. Now it's breaking news. The Kentucky women defeated Alabama 81-68 tonight. So there you go. They needed to get that win. They had kind of a heartbreaker against Tennessee earlier this week. So
yeah,
they're back on track. Now, what we do have, we don't have Oscar. We have a 2021 football schedule.
Yeah.
And the great thing about, well, there's what I would consider 3 great things about this schedule.
Let me just say real quick before you say the great things about the schedule. It's just weird to me that right in the smack dab in the middle of basketball season, everyone's talking about the football schedule. Is that not weird to you?
Jay, look, we're trying to take positives, and we know why we're talking about football.
I'm just
So,
saying.
no, we're trying. No, we're all about
It's
the
weird.
positives. We're all about the positives, and so you want to drag it back.
I'm just saying.
Why
It's
are we
weird.
talking about it? Because the basketball team has stunk it up on the court this year. That's why we're talking about football.
See, that's not positive. I just said it was weird.
If you hadn't said it, I wouldn't have had to say what I said. We know why we're talking about it.
Yeah. It's still weird. Either way you look at it. But carry on. What are the 3 good things about this schedule?
Number 1, 7 games at home next year. 7.
I like that.
That's not a common thing. Number 2, it looks like a normal season of football. That's a big positive.
Very, very big.
Number 3, the structure of the schedule, to me, looks like we could start out easily with 4 wins. I think we could wrap up easily with 4 wins. And all the tough stuff is right smack dab in the middle, all bunched up together. That's not the necessarily positive part, but it's not like you have to keep looking. I mean, well, I guess there's a positive thing in that you get your tough games before you're totally beaten up through a whole season. You know, when you got Georgia in late November, it doesn't, you got so many dings and who knows how many players out from little injuries here and there. I prefer to have them up a little bit earlier in the season so we can be more at full strength.
Right.
But I also like, when you got through that, you got a good chance to end your season with 4 more wins. I mean, I think an 8-win season is almost just money in the bank. And it wasn't all that long ago to say 8 wins was to be dubbed highly optimistic.
Like that's a bad thing, but okay.
Well, I mean, they think outrageously optimistic. You're making predictions based on feelings, Jay.
Yeah. On my fuzzy feelings.
Feelings. Feelings.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I glanced. It was a quick glance at the schedule, and I haven't thought nothing else about it because we are in the middle of college basketball.
Yes, but until we find out if there's an SEC tournament or not, I will pay attention on game day. I will be watching the game. I'll be cheering them on. But I'm removing myself emotionally from the season because last year I was ready for that postseason, especially how we finished the regular season. And I knew we were set to go on a nice long run, and then the carpet got yanked out from under me. So I'm standing over here on the hardwoods, and I'm not going to stand on that little carpet that gets yanked all the time. But back to the football schedule that you don't want to talk about, which is just too bad because it's on our.
I was just being honest, saying I glanced at it and I didn't give it any more thought. I haven't given now. I've thought about it somewhat. Like I pay attention to what's going on, but my mind is in college basketball right now. So we are in the middle of college basketball. We are Kentucky talking about football.
Okay, well, go ahead. Talk about basketball.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. I thought it was funny. I was talking to someone at work today, and I was like, it's pretty, because they were talking about football as well. And I was like, it's crazy that us Kentucky fans are talking football, and it's great at the same time because that culture has changed. And, and I like that. But at the same time,
I'll give you a reason to talk about football.
Okay.
Number one, football season hasn't officially ended. College football maybe, but football season does not end for another week.
It ended last week.
I know your Packers. Forget that.
Well, we got
Packers
cheated for one.
No, there we go. There we go. The excuse machine is
fact.
rolling.
That's a
whatever.
fact.
You never let it go down.
Known. I should have known.
You never let it go down to one call.
Where the Super Bowl is and who we were playing. Not only who we were playing, but who the quarterback is of who we were playing.
Whatever. If you want a reason to talk about football, Chris Oates stood up for the first time this week.
Yes. Saw that and was happy.
That's a biggie. That's
yeah.
Stoops says, it might be a long shot, but he has not given up hope on Oates one day resuming his UK career. So, it could be this standing up thing. Usually, and again, like I said, we do not know what the medical event was, but the fact that he is standing. When you get to that point, if you have to have the rehab and it takes you 8 months or so to get to a standing position, generally after that, things pick up at a quicker pace.
Yeah.
So now I would not this year, but I would say a year from now, we might see him running.
Praying for it.
Absolutely. Because that's, like I said, standing up, that's a big freaking deal. That is a big deal. He is
6'6", 245 right now.
I mean, that's standing up with assistance, but the fact that a month ago he couldn't stand up with assistance or not.
Right. He's rehabbing, getting himself together, and it's just very hard right now for him. And to see that, it made my day.
So that's why we're talking about football. So we open September 4th against University of Louisiana Monroe. I'd call that a win for the Cats.
I'm not saying nothing. I'm not making predictions till football season gets here. I'm just saying. Oh.
Fine. You talk about what you want to talk about.
No, you're not going to get any of my good predictions until...
None of your predictions are good.
Wow. I do like the schedule, though. I like it.
Well, I'm not talking about it.
New offensive coordinator. Adding some pieces. It's going to be interesting.
So there's a portion of the BBN that thinks that the reason that Budweiser and Pepsi and Coke, the reason they're not having ads in the Super Bowl, they're convinced it's because the NFL and other teams in other sports kneeled for the national anthem. And now I'm going to go buy all the Budweiser I can to support them. Yeah, well, sorry, Skippy. That's not how come they're not having ads.
No.
Budweiser is reallocating all of the money they had that they would normally have budgeted for Super Bowl advertising, which is in the millions, by the way.
Yeah.
They're going to redirect that money to promote COVID vaccination awareness and
education.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say, Jim. Because there's a lot of people that don't think the vaccine is safe. Of course, a friend of mine, she cracked me up. She said, got my COVID. It was Tina that did it. Got my COVID vaccine. Woke up this morning speaking Chinese. I had an extra nose and 2 more thumbs. No, she wasn't. She wasn't speaking Chinese. Didn't have an extra nose. Didn't have 2 thumbs. Her arm was sore. There you go. You might be tired for a couple of days. If you qualify to get the vaccine, get the stinking vaccine. Do it. Pepsi and Coke, their statement, their revenues are down because of COVID. They could spend the millions of dollars on Super Bowl advertising, or they could keep money to use towards their employees so they don't have to lay off more staff.
Right.
So people can still have jobs.
Which Pepsi is putting their money into the halftime show. That's where their money going. And the Budweiser thing, I mean, isn't this a tax write-off? So let's keep the millions, donate it for a tax write-off.
But
We
whatever
win.
it is, people, it has nothing to do with hairstyles. It has nothing to do with mismatched shoes. And it has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter videos. And it has nothing to do with players kneeling during the national anthem. But by all means, I would highly recommend that you spend all your money with Budweiser and Pepsi and Coke for their efforts.
Right. I mean, it's a tax write-off. So they win. They get a tax write-off. They don't have to spend that money. So they get the tax write-off there. And then all these news outlets put this story out. So they actually get the commercial anyway.
Well, we don't get to see the Clydesdales.
Right. But
I happen to like the Clydesdales. I happen to like the Dalmatian.
I do too.
But, and actually, I was going to watch the commercials this year because I wouldn't have been subjected to accidentally seeing the Packers on TV.
Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
It's been a while since you've seen the Cowboys play, huh?
I'm used to it.
Wow. Being a Cowboys fan, you are.
We got Jerry Jones as a freaking owner. He's going to continue to screw the team over.
It wasn't that long ago. We were talking pretty decent about the guy in his draft picks on his yacht.
Well, I think I spoke of that very guardedly because if he actually allowed the draft picks to be decent, he would find other ways to screw up the team. Well, plus we got Dak. Dak got injured this year. That's a game changer.
Yeah,
he's a little bit, kind of a key to the offense, and we could have done a whole lot worse than we did. So I think we've actually maintained fairly well. Anyway, the game this weekend.
Number 5, Texas. Is this the beginning? Like last year, we didn't get the NCAA tournament, but it felt like that last game against Florida was the beginning of, okay, we're going on a run. Does that start Saturday with number 5 Texas?
I said it started after the 3-game streak.
Okay.
I said it started after the Florida game. I said it started after the LSU game.
And see, and you don't sound convincing. It's like you're losing hope. You still got to cheer this team on. I know it's hard.
What did I just say to you? Did you not listen 10 minutes earlier?
I heard what you said, but you're just down and out.
No, you're saying they're going to do this, that, or the other. I've given that. I can only base it on what they've done.
Yeah.
You're down and out.
You're down and out.
Anyway, it's time to wrap up the show. You can follow us at Rockin' KY Blue on Twitter, on Instagram. We have a Facebook page. If you want to email us, you can do that at rockinkyblue@gmail.com. You can follow the loudmouth who doesn't want to talk about the things that we're supposed to talk about. That's JHAZZEKY on Twitter and on Instagram. That's JAYHAZZEKY. Don't know why you want to follow him. His predictions are wrong. He's argumentative, and he just wants to.
Another reason I know Kentucky fans are down and out because they want to talk football in the middle of basketball season.
Well, I think it's only fair since during I don't know how many football seasons, Kentucky fans want to talk about basketball in the middle of football.
Yeah.
So 1 year, let them do it. Let them have at it.
The culture has changed.
Well, then embrace it.
I am.
No, you're not.
When football season gets here, I will.
See, that's not embracing it.
I just wanted to give you a hard time. I am looking forward to it, and but I'm not giving up on my cats. I'm just not going to.
But we could have talked about
I know.
something that was new, that was current, that people want to hear about, and you blew it off. So fine. Anyhow, you can follow him. I'm at Forever Big Blue on Twitter. Michelle golfs a lot on Instagram. I'm not golfing a lot right now, but that's okay. Still not going to a lot of places or doing a lot of things, but wherever we go, whatever we do,
we're always rocking Kentucky Blue.
Thanks for listening to the Rockin' Kentucky Blue podcast. You can find us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Radio Public, or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to stop by and leave us a rating and review. And tune in next time for another episode of Rockin' Kentucky Blue.